You ever pull up to your own front gate, ready for a quiet weekend, and realize right then that someone's declared war on your whole damn life? That was me. On a blue sky Idaho Friday. Gravel popping under my tires. The pines swaying like nothing in the world could go wrong. Until I spotted the new steel padlock on my gate. Not mine. Not any key I ever owned. And there it was, a laminated notice. Flapping in the wind. Screaming in all caps about access suspended. Pine View Trails HOA. Some bureaucratic double talk about ecological boundaries. I just stood there. Engine still ticking. Wondering if I'd stepped into a bad sitcom or a slow burn nightmare. But let me back up a sec because this story, it gets wild. I'm Cameron Stone. And up till that moment, my therapy was swinging hammers and stacking timber out at my cabin. Not picking legal fights. I had Elias, my electrician, and Nolan, my landscaping guy, both trailing behind with a pickup full of supplies. Expecting to spend the weekend building garden beds and maybe, just maybe, sipping a cold one when the sun dipped behind the ridge. Instead, I'm staring at a chain and a note. And there's a duct-taped envelope with an official HOA letterhead addressed to property holder. It's all about how, according to some Resolution 14C, I'm suddenly breaking the law by having a second dwelling. My own land. Mind you. Signed. Karen Eldridge, HOA president. The kind of signature you can practically hear through the paper sharp. Entitled, probably practiced in front of a mirror. Now, I'd met Karen before. You know the type she smiles like your stepmom in a grim fairy tale, but talks like she's running for governor. But here's the thing. My land doesn't fall under any HOA. Checked it 3 times before I poured the foundation. Title clean. Plat clean. Not so much as an easement from their side. I don't owe them a thing, especially not a lock on my own gate. So, I do what any sane person would. Grab my bolt cutters. Walk up. And snap the chain. Let's go? I say, waving my guys in. And we get to work. Or try to. Anyway, the whole afternoon feels off. Like someone's walked through your bedroom while you were gone. I check my cabin camps, nothing missing. But there's a weird motion alert 2 nights ago. Some joker in a reflective vest. Clipboard in hand. Hanging around the gate. Classic HOA recon. That night, as the crickets start up, I'm still steaming. I send a formal email to the county land office with all my deeds and explain the HOA's little stunt. Then, just for the sport of it, I send Karen a cease and desist. No threats. Just facts. You don't govern this land. Any more trespassing. And we'll see what the law has to say. I think. Maybe that's it. Maybe I can go back to normal. But you know what happens when you expect peace? People like Karen see it as an invitation. By Monday, my inbox is blowing up. For new emails from Pine View Trails. Each more desperate than the last. Now they're claiming my land's part of their environmental oversight district, whatever that means, and they want a $12.500 integration fee. Civil penalties. Community censure. The works. They even attach a PowerPoint map. The kind of thing that screams, last minute at the PDA. It's almost funny if it wasn't so damn insulting. Time to bring in the pros. I call the county assessor Brent, who sounds only half awake, but gets it sorted in 2 clicks. My parcel's rural. Private. Clean. They try this every few years. He says, almost like he's talking about a stubborn raccoon. Just send us the letter and we'll file a note. You're not subject to any HOA. Next. My lawyer. Daniela Shaw. Fast talking. No nonsense. Allergic to Karen's brand of drama. She wants everything Jamails. Maps. My childhood vaccine card. If I've got it. By that evening. We've got a demand letter. Cease and desist. Everything filed with the county and a scan sent to Karen herself. That should slow him down. Right? You'd think. Thursday. I drive out for some repairs and there's a new sign. Bigger. Non-compliance under review. Professionally printed. Stuck in my driveway like an election poster. I tear it up. Walk my perimeter. Add more trail cams. And can't shake the feeling I'm being watched. And females. More legalese. More threats. More requests to submit paperwork for their kangaroo court compliance review. No names. Just the digital version of a sticky note left on your fridge. Saturday. I'm unloading lumber when I spot the sign I yanked out earlier in the week now replaced and mounted in concrete. I'm reading the new rules, legislation. Really, they're inventing as they go. When 3 people appear, 2 men, 1 woman, all in HOA observer vests, clipboards, and phones out like they're filming an episode of Cops. Excuse me. I call. Walking fast. Can I help you figure out how to leave? Clipboard lady. Hair like a gray perm. Just smiles like she's the queen. We're conducting a visual inspection. She says. Oh, honey. Of what? This isn't your jurisdiction. She doesn't flinch. Our community voted to expand. I'm done. You're trespassing. There is no expansion. This is private land. One of her sidekicks starts filming my barn. I block his shot. Clipboard lady flips to a page. Obstructing an inspection can result in a $5,000 fine. I laugh. You can find the moon. 2. They back away. But before they go, they slap another violation sign on my shop. I call the sheriff. 30 minutes later, Deputy Rawlings shows up, reviews my camera footage, looks at their notices, and shakes his head. This isn't a legal order. He asks for their names, tells them they're lucky I'm not pressing charge. Ciatan warns them. Do it again. You'll be cited for criminal trespass. When they finally slink away, Rawlings turns to me. You've got cameras. Good. But maybe build a fence. Crazy spreads out here. Next thing I know, I'm finding a pinhole camera duct taped under a birdhouse near my garage. They weren't just trespassing, they were documenting. Building some fake case. Daniela ramps things up. Preparing restraining orders. Filing with the county. The works. By Monday, I'm holding a thick envelope from HOA legal counsel. It reads like ChatGPT on bad HOA minutes and boxed wine claims about ecological continuity disruption. Signatures from people who don't even own homes. A few who are literally dead. Daniela's furious. She files fraud accusations. Motions to dismiss. And by Thursday, we're knee-deep in paperwork and preparing for court. Meanwhile, I'm installing more security. Cloud backups. Every square inch under digital lock. Then, the real twist: Karen submits a forged agreement claiming I volunteered to join the HOA last year. Notarized by, you guessed, Ither buddy Darlene on the HOA board. Daniela spots the fraud. Launches complaints. Gets the press involved. Suddenly, the local news is sniffing around. Local architect claims HOA forged consent document to enforce control over private forest land. Word spreads. A day later, my gate chain is cut. Another notice taped to my door. Impound due to violation of Woodland Zone Integration Act. Citrus cleaner stinks up the entryway. Like a skunk marking territory. I call Rawlings. Want to press charges? He asks. Yes. I say no hesitation. Trespass. Breaking and entering. Harassment. Forgery. Within 48 hours. Karen is served with a restraining order. The sheriff launches an investigation into HOA board records. Subpoenas fly. Turns out Karen fabricated maps. Forged signatures. Created whole zoning categories that don't even exist. Even her own board starts turning on her. One member, Phil Reeves, sends a statement. I didn't sign up for a land war. This is criminal. Now, the county starts threatening me with $30,000 in code violations, direct result of Karen weaponizing public offices. Daniela's had enough. We call the state attorney general. Next thing I know, Jim Chandler from the AG's office is sitting across from me, folder thick with evidence. And he says, this looks like a hostile annexation. State launches an investigation into Pine View Trails HOA fraud. Abuse of authority. You name it. Leaked board meeting screenshots surface online. Karen pointing at a slide. Objective. Normalize expansion language. Preempt opt-out properties. Board members quit. HOA homeowners demand answers about $80,000 in legal fees blown, chasing me around the woods. Then I get an email from Tyler Long, a retired property rights lawyer. I'm offering pro bono support. This is how fascism starts, with fake fences and fraudulent signatures. The cavalry's here. By the time we get to trial, it's a packed house. Daniela steel sharp. Karen's looking like she wants to melt into her chair. The judge, no patience for B shears at all. The fake signatures. The trespass. The forged expansion vote. The secret cameras. The county code weaponized as a club. Daniela lays out every document. Every minute of camera footage. Karen tries to claim good faith. Says it's all a misunderstanding. Judge isn't buying any of it. Then Daniela presents a sworn statement from Gretchen York. Former board member. No vote. Just Karen writing her own rules. Judge rules. All HOA claims are void. Restraining order dismissed. $370. 000 restitution for damages. And Karen referred for criminal prosecution document falsification. Trespass with intent. You name it. Out on the courthouse steps. The sun is so bright it hurts. Homeowners call. Furious about drained HOA funds. By the end of the week, Karen suspended. Eventually booted. The HOA teetering on the edge of collapse. Meanwhile, county investigators are taking photos on my land not for me, but as evidence. 2 weeks later, the DA files formal charges: attempted land fraud, falsification, conspiracy to commit theft. The zoning staff who enabled her are flipping. Full cooperation for lighter sentences. Karen's mugshot is on the front page. Bond denied. Judge says she's a risk to the community. But I'm not finished. With Daniela, I file a federal civil rights suit, deprivation of rights under color of law. We argue that no HOA can claim land outside its real jurisdiction. Word spreads. Other landowners back us. Karen started a wildfire. And this time, it burned her whole house down. Last I checked, she accepted a plea deal: 10 years. Out in 6 if she keeps her nose clean. Banned from any role in real estate or community governance. No more rules for her. And me? I'm back at my cabin. Built a new steel gate. Solar backup. Signs engraved in metal. Private land not subject to HOA. Violators will be prosecuted. Especially you, Karen. Now, the only thing breaking the silence is wind in the pines and the soft hum of the generator. And I sit there, sipping my beer, knowing justice isn't just a word you throw around at brunch. Sometimes, you've got to dig in, stand your ground, and let the trees and the world know you're not going anywhere. But let me ask you this: how far should an HOA, or any authority, be allowed to go before someone says, enough? Where's the line between community rules and outright abuse of power? I'd love to hear what you think. Drop your story or your opinion in the comments below. Let's talk about where justice ends and payback begins.